Okay, so what we're working on here is, first off, at the beginning of the sessions, we found that Kamau had a very upright backswing with his arms versus his shoulders. So I want you to go ahead and demonstrate that, Kamau. Just your old backswing, the old swing, just take it back and stop. There you go. Now, as you can see here, these arms are quite high, the elbow is high, and the wrist is really cupped this way. Makes it very difficult to time the golf club coming down. It's off plane, the club face angle is wide open, which usually relates to low shots, high shots, left shots, and right shots, especially when they're applied with the speed that Kamau seems to have. So in the first segment, we were working on flattening out the backswing. So we've got him doing a drill called the map, which he got real good at, where he swings the club around his shoulders, keeps it below his shoulder blade, and then bends over, and then you don't have to hit it. But so that's working on the backswing. We've progressed to the snap back and stop drill, which is a version of the map. So he snaps back and stops. Stay right there. You can see how his left wrist is flat, his right elbow is down, the club is below his shoulder plane. So I want you to redo that one.
You hit?
Yeah, snap back and stop, and then go ahead and hit it. Okay. He's doing very well with this drill. It's a little bit difficult to take to the golf course, so now in the progression of this, we're trying to get him into some feelings where he can get it on the golf course a little bit more often. The best way that we found him, the best success we found on the golf course is when we try and take his right arm out of the shot. You'll notice if you look at this video in slower motion that his right arm tends to be very active, trying to throw the club down this way. Anybody that's doing that is generally slicing the ball and mishitting it. So that's the playing thought. Now just a little bit more on the technical side. We're going to try and relate how he goes from the snapback stop drill of the map and into impact. So what we've got is the snapback and stop, and then in slow motion we're trying to help him feel his legs, his hips rotating, so they can get down in a position where that left wrist is still flat, his shoulders are a little bit more square to the target line, and his hips are open. Okay, so what we're doing in this is he takes it back. We're going to do a couple of slow motion, working it down, trying to feel this. Good. Do that a couple of times just to try and feel how the pieces work together. Excellent. And then you can go ahead and hit one in slow motion for me. All right, so it's very good. Go ahead and do that again. So you just work your way through it, right? And it's almost automatic. If he works his way through it, it gets better really quick. The other drill that we were doing this morning is called the impact drill. So taking a normal setup position, we go from there, keep the shoulders square, rotate the hips, handles forward, and right from here, just without moving too much, we just take a little backswing and then rotate the hips into impact. There you go. So we're doing these things, like I say, just to work on progressing from where he was in the backswing, correcting that. Now this is how he's applying it to impact. Generally what I find is if people don't know how to actually bring the golf club down, they end up making major mistakes with their wrists and their arms, and that basically wrecks any good stuff that they did actually create in the backswing. So, okay, let's just see one more impact drill. Okay, so shoulders square, good. Little backswing, get the hips rotating. Beautiful. So what we see every time when he goes through this drill is that there's always a nice crisp divot after the ball. The ball flight definitely comes down. It makes a much better sound, and it's a lot more fundamentally correct. Okay. So do you want to? We're gonna go ahead and just do a full one. I want you, before you do the full one, I want you to take it back, and then work down into impact a couple times. All right. There you go. And just now that you've got a feel for it, go ahead and let it go. Okay. Not too bad. So that's how we take all the things that we're learning how to do and just piece them together so that when we get on the golf course, we don't feel like we've got a dial-up internet connection, for lack of a better term.
I'm a few weeks into my lessons, and my swing is completely changed. And anybody who's played with me last year will tell you the swings is completely different. It's still a work in progress, so it's not quite translating to, below par scores yet. But I'm hitting a lot more consistent shots, making contact much better. I've had to drop my swing plane considerably, and change my hip motion, at least be more cognizant of it. So I address the ball now with quite a few more swing thoughts in mind, at least 3, sometimes 5 if on a bad day, but it's something that it takes several repetitions to drill in my mind. I've had to be out here quite a bit, aside from the lessons, just reinforcing almost like free throws. I feel like I have to just keep doing it right over and over and over again. Cam's given me several drills that I can revert to make sure I stay on path, and I just kind of repeat those hundreds and hundreds of times, and hopefully throughout the summer it'll become kind of second nature and I can start playing a little bit better. But either way, I'm sold on the method for sure. When the contact that I'm making already is much, much better and much more consistent than I have been, and more importantly, when I don't hit the ball well, I know exactly what I did wrong. Just gives me a physical feedback, if you will, kind of reinforces way I should be doing it, and I can go back and try that on the next hole.